So how do you win the World Scholars Cup? If you're new to the Scholars Cup community and competition, or if you've even done it before but not seen amazing results, this video will help you lay out everything you need to know to win the competition. Hey, my name is Joaquin from Vancouver, Canada, and I've been doing the competition for 3 years now. I wanted to make this quick, short video to explain to you the strategy to winning Scholars Cup, especially if you're a beginner and have absolutely no idea where to begin. If you have no idea what the Scholars Cup is to begin with, please watch the video I made right here. So before I begin, tell me down below where you're from, what delegation you represent, what global round you're going to. I would love to connect with you down below in the comments. Another important note is please do not skip any content in this video. I know you want to click on the fast forward, but don't do that, as everything builds onto each other, as well as the fact that all the content in this video is very important, so pay attention. So for the Scholars Cup overall, there are a few things you have to pay attention to. The first being the fact that the curriculum is everything. All parts of the curriculum are equal, and if you don't know the curriculum, you're not only going to suffer in the challenge and the Scholars Bowl, but you're also going to have trouble coming up with evidence to support any claims you make in your debate and writing. The curriculum itself amounts to only 50% of all the points you can score from the challenge and bowl, so you have to know it really, really well. Personally, I never like being the guy that never knows the answer or even a clue to the answer in a bowl question, and then my entire team just kind of looks at me and they're like, what the hell, bro? Dude, it just lets your team down overall. As well as the fact that actually knowing the curriculum makes it so much easier to write up any evidence you might have for your debates and writing, as everything you debate and write about is part of the curriculum. I'm gonna stress this again, if you do not study the curriculum, you're gonna be at such a big disadvantage. So study it. Luckily for you, I've made some videos all on my channel about the curriculum, so you can watch one right here, as well as click down below, explore the videos on my channel, you'll find tons of them there. The next big part is your team, because if you have a team that is just doing it for fun, or doing it to screw around, or doing it for the memes, you have to get a better team. In the end, you do not want to motivate your team to start doing work, because that is going to be really annoying, especially in the global rounds. Trust me, you do not want to go to a regional round or a global round or Yale or just any round in general with the team that is going to ruin you, because it's just going to suck competing with them. More on choosing the right team and 3 things you have to think about when choosing the right team in the video right above. Strategy wise, you do not at all want to do what I did the first time I did Scholars Cup, which was basically not study for the entire Scholars Cup club until the end, and then, only then, read up this massive review package the people in charge gave me, and read it for like an hour and then go to sleep late the day before the entire competition. You don't want to do that. I don't know if it's still like this in the junior round, but when I did it, the only thing I remember from actually reading all of that was this one art piece called Untitled 2001, which was basically this little picture of some small elevators. Funny enough, in the challenge there was actually one question that said, which art piece has a small elevator in it? I managed to actually get a silver in art and gold in everything else, and win all of my debates and get first place in writing. No, what actually ended up happening was that I got a silver in art and did pathetic, absolutely pathetic, probably dead last in everything else except for science. Lesson being, don't read the review package the day before the competition. Strategy wise, it is very important to start studying as early as possible. There's no other way to say how important this single principle is. And hey, if you're watching this in 2019, well, it's too late now, so start studying today. To get you inspired, one of my favorite Chinese proverbs actually say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today, so get studying. I'm going to get into a few more advanced studying techniques in just a second, but it's very important that you study every single day. You retain much more information if you study 10 days for every day of the week for 7 days a week instead of studying 2 hours 1 day per week. When it comes down to success overall, your habits determine your outcome. What you do every day shapes the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you behave on certain things, and most importantly, the way you think. Make sure to study 10 to 20 minutes every day if you're really in it for the money. When it comes down to study strategies, there's various things you can do to become more effective at actually studying. The first is to use Quizlets. Over the last few years, I've been creating a few Quizlets, and actually one of them, or a few of them, I shared on some Scholars Cup class pages on the entire Quizlet.com online area. And what ended up happening was that it somehow blew up. A bunch of people started using them. I got a whole bunch of people constantly trying to beat each other's score in the match area. So all of a sudden in the match section of this Quizlet, I was versing 30 to even 50 people. The most important thing I read from reading this book, and a whole bunch of other books is the importance of having competition to give you the necessity you need to keep on fighting. It adds that extra layer of need to win, which motivates you to keep on practicing and moving forward. This is especially relevant in the World Scholars Cup practicing community, as there's many days when you're not motivated as there's no one to actually compete against. It's only on the competition days where you see that all happen. So having this competition created through things like Quizlets really can motivate you to keep on studying. The point is, Quizlets can be a very important tool to help you compete against people that you might actually be competing against in the future. It's also effective to learning the information by constantly asking you questions about topics on the Quizlet itself. To make sure you get the most out of your study practice, I urge you to study consistently, such as on the bus to the way to school, the way back, and occasionally in the morning. Another strategy to studying is that you want to make sure you split up related topics throughout your team. For example, do not make someone study art and science, as there are two subjects that are not strongly correlated with one each other. The reason why is because a lot of the literature terms get put into the art questions. So if you don't know how to identify the poets or what happened in some poems, it might be really challenging to actually answer a lot of the questions in the art sections themselves. When it comes down to splitting subjects to study, as most people would recommend, I would not recommend you split up 2 subjects per person to study. Cutting up the section to 2 sections per teammate to study doesn't end up working as well as you expect, because some teammates actually don't end up completing their entire section. Then what ends up happening is you have these knowledge holes in your understanding of the curriculum as a team, as well as the fact that you will only really be able to answer 2 sections of the Scholars Challenge on your own, and then kind of just have to guess the rest of it. I also wouldn't suggest it, because if during the bowl, if one of your teammates forgets an area of their entire, like if they forget an area of science, if they're studying that, all of a sudden no one in your team can figure out the answer to that question. I wouldn't also suggest it, because if, let's say in the Scholars Bowl, if one of your teammates forgets or didn't study one phrase or one key term, then you're kind of screwed for that specific question. Instead, study a little bit of every section to get a good understanding of the whole curriculum before going deeper into 2. This pays off especially well in the regional rounds, where you're going to do really well overall in the challenge, as well in 1 or 2 subjects, instead of doing very well in 2 subjects and mediocre overall, which will cost you more points in the end. The final strategy is to know the best way that you learn and then study based on that. For personal experience and from multiple scientific studies, I can testify that reading the curriculum book that your teachers give you the night before is a terrible strategy. It's just not an effective way to memorize content overall. If you want to see more of this type of Scholars Cup content, please leave a like down below, as well as comment down below where you're from. That way I can talk to you and make some connections before I see you guys in the Beijing Global Rounds. I'm planning on making more videos that cover every single subject of the curriculum, as well as a few more strategy videos like this for debate and writing in the future. So comment down below on what you guys think with that. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your teammates, friends, delegations, school teachers, blog posts, wherever. Just share it around. Make sure more people can benefit from it. As always, my name is Joaquin. I'm the founder of Acetivity Labs, a company that is designed to help you stay productive. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe down below.